Good morning, children. Hope all are doing good, right? Hope you are all able to hear me okay. Just say yes in the chat if you can. You're able to hear me okay. Very good, very good. So good morning again to all the childrens, and thank you for joining today again. And we're going to look at some exciting stuff today on on this class. We are on day 2. And before we start, a quick refresher on what we looked at on yesterday's class. In the yesterday's session, we looked at an introduction to intelligence and what is an artificial intelligence, and we looked at what is generative AI. And then we introduced all of you a new tool called Google AI Studio. Why did we choose this tool? Because this tool is free for all of us to utilize, and it is very advanced as well. And then we introduced something called prompts. Prompts are nothing but a simple text. Using that simple text, how you can interact with the actual generative AI models. So that is what we looked at yesterday. And towards the end, we have also given an option for you to do some exercise. Did you guys all do your exercise? And I hope you all have enjoyed with the tool yesterday we spoke. Okay. And in today's session, what we're going to do, this is what we're going to look at. And we're going to look at, all of you have lot of subject. Somebody might have English, math, science, social, and a lot of these subjects are available for each and every one of us, right? Now, how you can learn your subject using generative AI. So that is what we are going to look at it. We are going to directly look at your textbook and directly see how from the textbook you can learn very effectively using generative AI. That is what we're going to look at. And once that is done, we are going to look at advanced prompt engineering for students. Okay. And we're going to look at an advanced prompt engineering. Yesterday we looked at an introduction to prompt. How do you actually interact with? Now today we're going to look at an advanced one. Okay. And then we're going to look at some of the tips and tricks within Google AI Studio. So this is the 3 important items that we're going to look at on today's session. Okay, let us start. Okay, so the first one is, we all are having lot of our subjects, and many times we used to have lot of questions and doubts and understanding of our subject. Now in today's session, we're going to start with how you can use the same Google AI Studio for learning your subject very clearly. So that is what we're going to look at it. Okay. So there are 3 things that we're going to look at it. You have a very complex topic that you want to understand, and you want somebody to explain the complex topic in a very simple terms. That is one way, because sometimes you will have 10-page document. You, to understand the whole thing, you need to read through the 10 page. But if you want quickly to understand what is this complex topic is on my science subject, on my math subject, on my social subject, any language or any book that you have, if you need to understand how you can actually utilize generative AI to simplify the complex concepts. That's the first thing that we're going to look at. The second thing is you have completed reading a specific topic. You completed reading a new subject, a new chapter in the subject, and you want to test yourself whether have I learnt them properly or not, right? Have I learnt them properly or not? How can we provide an option for you to generate quizzes automatically, and these using these quizzes you can test your knowledge on whether you really understood the concept or not, right? This is second one. And the third one is sometimes you have a complex mathematics equation or formula or a statement that you may not be able to directly type in using a typical keyboard. It may be very difficult for you to type in. And in that case, how you can actually take a screenshot of a specific item and ask the generative AI to explain or solve the problem. This is a very common thing. In my book, I have a section and there is a math problem or a question that was asked. You don't know how to solve it. You want somebody to help. Your mama is busy, daddy is busy, and teacher has given that as a homework. And you can utilize this GenAI tool to understand how to solve this problem so that you can understand the concept very clearly. Right? Shall we look at practically how shall we do this? The three concept learning your subject with generative AI. So yesterday I will switch to now to the Google AI Studio. We all are familiar with this interface, right? When you click on the chat, it will show the screen. I hope all are able to see the screen, right? Just send in the chat whether you are able to see the screen. Yes. In the chat, you are able to see the screen. Yes. And you are able to see the generative AI using. Okay. Very good. Very good. Thank you. And now it is the same chat window that we are going to use for doing this. Okay. Now let us take an example. I have my science subject and I am new to the science chapter, one chapter which is not clear to me. And I want some help to understand the complex subject. Okay. So, to help all of us to understand the details better, what I have done is I have downloaded the actual science subject directly on the uh, on here. I have your science chapters from your book. Let's take a grade 6 book. You have English book, math book, Hindi book, science book, all there. Let me open science book and there are, this is an NCRT or CBSE syllabus. These are some of the chapter. I hope all of you would have studied this chapter. Okay. So the first chapter is the wonderful world of science, right? The wonderful world of science is the first chapter. Let me go to the first chapter and see what is the wonderful world of science. So this is the first chapter called the wonderful world of science. Now this particular document is 8-page document, first chapter, right? Before you even start this wonderful world of science, you want some help in terms of explaining this complex subject in a simple way. So, what you can do, what I am going to do is I am just going to copy whatever the items that I want. Let's say I take the first three pages. Okay, I am copying this first three page and I am going to the Google AI Studio and I'm going to tell simplify the complex topic to a simple explanation. Okay, so complex topic to a simple explanation that I'm saying, and then I paste this whole copied text. Okay, I paste the 3 page of copied text. So much of content is here. But before I paste this whole content, I just requested simplify this complex topic to a simple explanation. You can add lot more. I will explain what lot more that you can add. Okay. When I click on run, what it is going to do is the generative AI is going to think about it and it is going to explain to you in simple terms what is this complex topic is about. See, it has started writing. Okay. So it is saying, imagine you are a little kid, always asking why and how about everything around you. Science is just a grown up way of doing same thing. It is about being curious, exploring and observing and and uh, and understanding and you are think of this like a giant never ending puzzle. Science is like a puzzle and you basically learn the puzzle. So is it not very simple? Instead of you reading all 3 pages in a single paragraph, it has explained to you what the 3 page is talking about. Okay, so you understand this is what is the crux of the 3 page that you are trying to learn. So once you learn this, again, okay, this is what they are telling in the book from the first 3 page. You can go back and read the first 3 page. You should always read the first 3 page, but just before you start understanding, if you can actually summarize this way, it is easy for you to understand the concept, right? So this is the first one. So we looked at how you can actually simplify the whole thing, right? Simplify the whole thing, right? So you can even, as I told you, that this is the format of doing it. Now you can even tell that what is the grade that you are studying. You can tell I am a simply sixth standard student. Simplify the concept with a simple example. So now this is the text that we have actually copied from the textbook. This is another way of the same message, the same 3 page. I'm going to copy and I'm going to give the details again. Let us see what it is coming back with. Okay. So now instead of this place, I'm going to remove this and paste this, and you're going to this is the actual content. Okay, as a human being, this is what the actual one. So now before this I'm just telling I am a sixth standard student, simplify the concept with simple example. I run this. Okay, so now it is going to read this and it's going to give a different, somewhat different, not holistically different, but somewhat different answer to the level of a sixth grade student. Okay, so now if you look at this is the sixth grade student level of how to understand the concept there. Hope it is all clear. Okay, so the first thing that we looked at is simplification of complex topic. This is a example for the prompt to get the result from the generative AI. And the next concept is generate a quiz. Okay, for the same topic, consider that from the book you have learned this particular concept. Okay, so now you can ask, okay, now I have learned this topic. Can you create a quiz to test my understanding? Test my understanding. So now we're going to test this, whether it can create the quizzes. I'm going to copy the same text and put it here. And now you can say in the provide your topic, I'm going to copy the content from first 3-page content from my wonderful world of science to that particular place. Okay. So I've copied this. Okay. Now I go back and paste this content. Click run. Now what I did, I just taken a complex topic and I told generative AI to create quiz more for me. So when I ask it to create quiz, it is going to create quiz and it is going to give me answers based on the text that I have provided. So if you look at here, so this is a science adventure quiz it has created. What is science? Circle the best answer. Science is, it is asking a question. Science is mainly about reading storybook, asking questions, playing sports, drawing picture. And it is the correct answer is asking question, exploring, trying to understand how things work. That is what is science. Let's check for the first question. You will have an answer also. And if you go down, you can see what is the answer. Or you can ask. Now, it is has given the details. And you can even ask, can you provide correct answers for above quiz? Okay. Now, when you ask this, it automatically knows that there is a quiz here and you are asking for correct answer for this quiz. Now, it is doing the thinking and it will come back. See here, the correct answer for the science is mainly about asking question. So it has given this is the correct answer. Likewise, for each and every questions, it is going to give you the correct answers. Even for a true or false questions. We all know, right, what is true or false questions or fill in the blank questions. You know, what is the correct answers there, yeah, that it has provided. And so this is one way, a quiz is a way. It is like you writing a small exam for each and every chapter or each and every topic that you are reading. Once you complete your reading, you can test your knowledge using this. You can just ask the ChatGPT or your generative AI to generate the answers and quiz and test the quiz by yourself so that you can be of sure that you really understand the topic very well. It is very, very powerful concept. Okay. So now first we summarized a complex topic. In the next quiz, generation. And the third topic is reading from a image. So assuming that there are cases, right, where your data or you are trying to understand the concept is available in a very complex formula like this. You are seeing a small example here. I will just mark it. So you need to mention find the sum of 1 by 4 and 1 by 3, right? And this is you need to type this, right? It is somewhat difficult for people to type. This is one example. Likewise, there are so many complex examples are there. right? Instead of you typing, how can we actually use the generative AI to read from directly from the images itself? So that's what we're going to look at it. Okay. Either you can take the image from your book or wherever that image is available. Let me take it for simplicity. I'm going to take this as a sample. So this is what I want generative AI to read and solve the problem. Find the sum of find the sum of 1 by 4 and 1 by 3, which is by far a complex topic, right? Let us go here. So now I am looking at, okay, let me look at what is that image. So this is the image that we wanted to find. Find the sum of 1 by 4 and 1 by 3. So I'm just copying this image and I can directly paste this image in the prompt window. Okay. And once I paste it, I can tell what I wanted to do. So you can tell here in this case, I have a math problem. So I can ask this to solve this math problem. But if you have a different problem, you can tell based on that. Okay, so here in this example, I have a math problem. Read from attached image and solve the math problem on fractions. This is an example for fractions, right? Those who are in the higher classes, I'm sure you will understand this is called fractions, right? So when I click on run, what it is going to do is generative AI will automatically read the content from the image. See, look at here, you have not typed it, but it has automatically understood that you want a sum of 1 by 4 and 1 by 3, right? And based on this, now what happens is it is telling, now I need to do this sum. How do I do it? Now to do that, it is going to take the values and perform the actual calculation, and it has provided that this is the actual final outcome. So the sum of 1 by 4 and 1 by 3 is 7 by 12. You can go through this step by step process to understand how this fraction is actually calculated or combined to bring in the final outcome. I hope it is very clear, right? So we looked at three important ways by which you can use generative AI to effectively learn your concept. So the first one, we looked at how a complex topic can be summarized in a simple way. And the second topic, we looked at how a, a, a quiz can be automatically generated and how you can actually use the quiz to understand whether you have done well understanding the topic you are trying to read. The third one, reading from the images. So any complex topics or like mathematical formulas, instead of you typing the details, I can just take an image and give it to the ChatGPT or the AI Studio, and it will automatically identify and provide you the actual answers. Hope it is all clear for you guys. Okay. Now, the next 5-10 minutes, we will look at some of the concepts of advanced prompt engineering. Okay, what is that? Yesterday we spoke about the prompt. Even today we have used the prompt. Prompts are nothing but the text that you type in the generative AI chat window to ask a question. That is called prompt. And there is a structure with which you can actually create an advanced prompt. So this is the structure we are going to look at how we can actually use this structure. When we use this structure, the output that you are generating from the generative AI will be much precise, accurate. What you are expecting, you will get it. That is what we're going to look at it. Okay. So I'm going to introduce a prompt framework called picture prompt framework. This picture word is created just for you to understand and easily remember the framework. Okay, easily remember the framework. So we will look at what each and every word in this picture framework is about. So the first one is the word, a letter P. The P talks about persona. Persona meaning when you are writing a prompt, you should tell the prompt that you tell the AI should how it should pretend to be so that it can give a proper answer. For example, when you start a prompt, you have to tell what is the persona that you want the Gen AI to wear. See, in your schools, you have many teachers for many subjects. You have a Tamil teacher, you have English teacher, you have science teacher. Like that, you have multiple teachers, right? So, can you ask a Tamil teacher to take a math subject for you? No, right? So, you will basically attend the Tamil period just to learn only Tamil, right? So, mm, how, but in the case of generative AI, you have only one AI that you are interacting. So, before you start interacting, you can tell that you are going to act or you are going to be my science teacher. You are going to be my math teacher. You are going to be my quiz master. Like that, you have to tell. If you tell, then the generative AI will automatically becomes that particular person, right? It is like in your laptop or your phone, you have all the teachers available and you can ask which teacher that you want before you start learning from them. Clear? So if I want to learn Tamil, you can tell, hey, generative AI, can you be like a Tamil teacher so that I can learn Tamil? Or you can tell, can you be like an English teacher so that I can learn English? So this is what called personas. So you are my science teacher, you are my fun math teacher, you are my quiz master. Like this, you can tell, and based on which the actual uh, this one will the generative AI will automatically change to that particular teacher and it will respond. So the next important thing is intent. The first one is P, which is persona. Second is I, intent. Intent is what you want, what I want the AI to do. So here you have to clearly explain what you want. So you can tell the first word is persona. You can tell first word, hey, AI, can you act like a science teacher? So the second statement you provide is explain how plant works. So your science teacher typically explains the plant details, right? So you can ask, explain how plant work. Help me solve a word problem. Make a quiz on Indian history. These are some of the examples. Okay. Like this, you can provide the intent. Intent is nothing but what you want. That's what you will learn. Right. The third is C, which is context. Context. You provide a background or more details. You can tell, for example, you please act as for a picture you told, you please act as a science teacher. And for the intent you said, can you please explain the concept of a specific topic, right? In that case, how a plant grows. And in the context, you can tell, I am learning about photosynthesis this week. The main goal is you are learning about photosynthesis this week. So you have asked the AI to explain very clearly. Okay. So this is called context, right? And now the fourth one is T, which is nothing but tools. Tools represents use these things if I needed. Okay. Now, in the same example, now you please act as a science teacher, that's a persona, and explain to me how a plant works. And the context is I am learning about photosynthesis and use examples from the fifth grade science book. Okay. So if you tell that the tool, fifth grade science book, you go and refer. That's what you're telling. That's a tool that you're telling. It's a resource that you're telling. And it will automatically take that you are a fifth grade or sixth grade student, and it will try to explain to you in a specific way so that you can understand it very well, right? The next is you, and you, it is mainly on understanding or evaluating the understanding. And this is to check, to make the AI to check for itself whether the answer is good. And you, for example, as an understanding, make sure it is easy to read. Just an example. Part of the persona you told, you are a science teacher. An intent, we told you need to explain to me a science topic called how plant grow. The context is what is the purpose? Because I'm learning the photosynthesis this week, and a tool that you are giving, which is you refer to the fifth grade science book, and you are telling that make sure it is easy to read. If you provide this, the output that you receive will be much more easier for you to read there. Okay. And the next is R is refine, meaning R is refine, and you can ask it to add a diagram or explain in a simple step, make it shorter. These are some of the concept. This you can use, or whenever is required you can actually use this or if it is not required you can ignore it. Okay, this is available but you can understand this. The refine part is available there. Okay, the last is elevate. Elevate is you can elevate the outcome that is going to come in a very beautiful way. Make it for more fun, creative, or helpful. You can ask it to give a rhyme. You can add a fun fact at the end. Give mini test to check my understanding at the end. These are some of the elevation option that you can actually bring in so that your learning would be much easier and very fun oriented. Okay, we looked at picture framework. P is for persona, I is for intent, C is for context, T is for tools, and your understanding, and your review, and your elevate or the or concept for picture. Isn't it easy to understand? Let us see some example how it is going to give much more better results. Okay. So now let me show you one sample example. Let us look at this. So in this sample example, I will take an example. You are a science teacher and explain how a rainwater cycle works. I'm going to ask. This is an intent. First is a persona, second is an intent. In the intent, I'm asking the Gen AI to explain to me how a rainwater works. And once, and the context is you tell that I am a sixth grade student studying this in this class this week. Okay. And what tools that you are giving? Use simple words and give one example as a tool. And make sure that I can understand it without any help. And if it is too hard, explain it like a story. That's a refine. Last one is add fun fact about cloud at the end. Isn't it very good? So you're asking all these items together. So in between there are some items even if you are not giving, it is okay. Okay, as long as this is a framework, if you follow this, you will get much better output, but it is okay even if you ask a simple question. So I'm going to ask this, the same questions that we have created, right? So let me go here. I have the text available. So you are a science teacher. Explain how the rainwater cycle works. I'm a sixth grade student studying in this class this week. Use simple words and give one example. Make sure I can understand it without any help. If it is too hard, explain it like a story. Add fun facts about the cloud in the end. So this is the message, right? If I say run, so it is going to act like a science teacher and it's going to explain the concept for you in a very beautiful way. Let us look at how the output comes back. Okay, it is currently thinking and what it has to write, and it has started writing, right? Now, if you look at it, okay, future scientist, the rainwater cycle, or as the scientists call it, the water cycle, is like a giant, never ending journey of water. Imagine water is super traveler. Let us tell it like a story about a little drop of water, drippy. So it is giving you a story now. Tell it like a story about a little drop of water called drippy. The adventure of drippy, the water drop, the big puddle. So it is giving a story for you. Drippy is hanging out in a big puddle on the ground after a rain shower. She is with millions of her water drops friends. They could also be in the lake, a river, or even in a giant ocean. This is where water gets collect. The sunny lift off, evaporation. So you understand the story, right? You know, it is has given because you asked it to be a science teacher and also explain the concept as a story. It has written a story for you, right? And you read this story, you will fully understand the concept, not just it, but you can be more creative with this particular tool, right? Let us look at another example. Okay. So now in this example, I have a different tutor. So previously I said you are a science teacher. Now in this prompt, I'm going to tell you're a math teacher and teach me how to add fraction with different denominators. I am learning this concept in the class. I'm been bit confused. Use examples like 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 and show steps clearly. Make sure I understand each steps and tell me I need to remember any rules. And if I don't get it first time, explain it again using a piece of slice example, right? So if you look at it at the end, give me a mini quiz with 3 questions to check my understanding. Now we followed the same picture prompt. The P, persona, I, intent, C, context, T, tools, understand, U, and R, refine, and E, elevate, right? Let us try this also, this example also, and see whether the math teacher can actually explain the concept well. Okay. So now let me just switch to this and go here, and I'm going to take the copy of this and paste it and run it here. When I run it, what now it is going to do is I'm a math teacher and it is going to give me a different response specific to 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 answer. Okay, we'll give a couple of minutes. If you look at here, the biggest, most important rule to remember, you can only add fraction if they are if they have the same denominator, the bottom one. Okay. Now, if you look at, let's look at it. Now, 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3. And it is giving different steps. In step 1, look at the denominator. Step 2, find a common denominator. Step 3, change each fraction to equivalent fractions and so on and so forth. Okay. And it has given clear by clear instruction how to calculate this and come out with the final answers, right? We will give an exercise towards the end, and you can try out those things towards the end of the program as such. Okay, so don't do anything now, just listen, and we will ask you to give you exercise, and you can try it at home. For the whole day is available, all are holiday, right? So whole day is available for you to play around with various topics, right? So we looked at two picture prompts for two different needs, one for a science teacher, another one for math teacher. Very clear? I hope it is all clear for all the kids. Very good. Now let's look at some of the tips and tricks on while using the Google AI Studio, right? So the first tip that we're going to look at is something called system instructions. System instructions. I am just marking here to show you how to access this system instructions, right? How to access this system instructions. Now in the Google AI Studio, on top place, you will see this small icon. This is how the system instructions are accessed. And when you access it, it will give you a text bar, text page like this. Okay. And here is where you can type whatever that you want. This is a system instruction. You can type whatever you want. It is to tell that the whole GenAI to act like that. Okay. So now in the previous prompt, what we said, for each and every prompt, we have mentioned that you are a science teacher, you are a math teacher, like that you told. But instead, you can write this persona details directly in the system instruction. When you write this persona instructions there, it will be applied for all your conversations. It will be applied for all your conversations. Let us look at an example. Okay. How do I access the system prompt? If I look at here, this is the way to access the system prompt. So this is what system prompt is. Now I'm going to access it. Okay. So now when I click on it, it will show me a optional tone and style instruction for the model. That is what it is saying. What does that mean? You can tell what you want this to act like. Like I'm going to tell one example. So I'm going to tell you are a language teacher. I'm going to tell you are a language teacher and you will teach me the English to Korean language. Okay. When I interact with you. So many of our kids all are having a willingness to learn new languages, right? New languages. How can I ask or how can I use this AI to learn new language? This is one way to learn a new language. Okay. So what I'm saying is you are a language teacher. I'm telling you are a language teacher. You will teach me an English to Korean. Now here uh, the kid wants to learn Korean language. If the kid wants to learn Korean language, it can use this system instruction and tell you need to act like a language teacher and teach me the Korean language, right? So I have given this instruction. You can check this instruction here. Now, whenever I interact with this, I'm going to say, hi, how are you? when I say run, now what is going to happen is, now you have given this as a system instruction. Because it is a system instruction, it is going to take up that, it is going to take that up as a, let me just give it a try. Okay, so now you are a language teacher, and I've given here, I'm just saying, hi, how are you? When I say, when I say run, what it is going to do is, it is going to act like a Korean teacher, and it is going to tell how you have to respond in Korean language. Now it has given two responses, and now I'm going to choose one. And let's say, so here you can see how English to Korean language, I even don't know what it is. It is a Korean language. So it is teaching me that is the most common and polite way to say hi in Korean. Now, for how are you, you say jal la 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 something. Okay, I have no idea what it is. It is a Korean language. So like that, you can change this to any language or anything that you wanted to learn. Okay, the system instruction. So let us look at a different option. So now, of now I can say now the same instruction. Now instead of Korean, I'm going to say Japanese language. Okay, Japanese language, and now this teacher, the AI teacher, will act like a Japanese teacher. So now I'm going to say, hi, how are you? Now when I say click run, it is going to give me a response saying in Japanese. Even I don't know what Japanese is. Look at here. Okay, great. I'm ready to help you learn. You said, hi, how are you? In Japanese, the common way to say this is this. It is giving you how you have to write in the Japanese words and an equivalent in the English as well. And it is trying to explain to you one by one how this can be learned. It is like a free language tutor. It is like a free language tutor you got, and you just need to use this on a daily basis to learn a new language. Is it clear? Right? Very good. So we learned about how you can use the item, that is system instruction for creating and making the AI to act like a specific teacher. Okay, so this is one example that we looked at. So another example is, let's say I want to make this AI to act like a poem writer. Poem writer. Okay. So when I interact with you, you will respond to me in an English poem. I'm asking it to respond to me in an English poem. So I'm going to ask the same question. Hi, how are you? So when I ask this question, because it is a poem writer, it is going to explain to me, respond to me in a poem. And you look at here, it says, the digital ether, my home and my spear, I am woven of core. Like this, it has written a beautiful, beautiful poem for you, right? You just said, hi, how are you, right? So that is one. The another thing is the system instructions will be removed. Now, if I click on it, you will see this system instruction. But if I click on chat again, the system instruction will be removed. Okay, it will not be available for you to see that. Okay, you can type a different instruction for doing it. We learned some beautiful concept. Okay, and the next example is, and I'm going to say that you are a Tamil teacher and you will respond to be a Tamil language when I interact with you. it is going to be, you will respond to me in Tamil language when I interact with you. That means whenever I interact with you, it is going to come back with a response only in a Tamil language. Okay, so for example, it is not going to give any English at all. I'm going to say, hi, how are you? How are you? I'm asking the same question. When I click, now it is thinking that it is a, look at here, beautiful. It is saying, வணக்கம், நான் நலமாக இருக்கிறேன். நீங்கள் எப்படி இருக்கிறீர்கள்? Isn't it awesome? Right? You just asked and you asked the whole system instruction to act like a Tamil teacher, and it is going to give the details in that specific language. And you can make it Hindi as well. Okay. So now, for example, I'm going to make this as Hindi. Okay. You are a Hindi teacher and you will respond in Hindi language. Okay. I'm going to ask, hi, how are you? And let us see whether it is responding back in Hindi. Clear. See, very, very precise. It is telling exactly how to respond back in Hindi language. Like that, you can take any language in the world and this will be able to address this. Very clear, very beautiful. And we looked at so many concepts here, right? And the last item that we wanted to show is searching the internet, right? See, whatever that you are currently doing till now, whatever that you did, it is not going to search the internet for getting a response. Okay, it is all done locally. Okay, I will just explain how that is done. So what is the difference that you can take? To understand the difference, I am just going to type explain to me what is Operation Sindoor. Okay, this is a new operation that the Indian military has done, right? I'm just asking what is Operation Sindoor. Okay, and when I run this, and it is going to look for whatever the explanation it has on the Operation Sindoor, and it is going to come back to me, right? We asked about explain to me what is Operation Sindoor. Okay, and looks like it has done some kind of official named government military operation, Operation Desert Storm, and like this. Okay, and so this is some kind of an act that it has done. Okay, if you want a even more perfect answer, on the right hand side, you all can see something called grounding with Google search. Grounding with Google search is an example. So this grounding with Google search, what it is going to do is, when you activate this, it is going to ask the Google to give a proper response for this question. Proper response for this question. So I'm going to activate this. Okay, I have activated the source as mentioned as Google search. Now I'm going to ask the same question. The only difference is I have just activated this and I'm going to ask a same question and say run. Now let us see whether it is grounding the details with Google search. Okay. Now look at here, it is a completely different response that you are getting. Okay. A major military exercise with the dates May 7, April 22nd. April 22nd is just May 7th is just 2 weeks back, right? And it exactly gives you the details specific to the operation it has completed, right? It has given the sources link as well, right? Which source that you can look at for understanding more details. So how did we get this? We got this using something called grounding with Google search. Is it clear? It's so good that you can get a proper response that you are looking at. Amazing. Okay. System instruction, language learning, and we looked at it. So we have come to a end of our session. Should we take a promise similar to yesterday as well? Okay. So what we will do is we all will take our hand and keep it on our chest and close your eyes and repeat what I say. Okay. Take your hand and close on your 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 heart and close your eyes. Repeat what I say. I promise to be curious and learn every day. I promise to be curious and learn every day. Very good. You can take off your hands, you can open your eyes, and now we have come to the end of our session. Today, we also have a beautiful exercise for all of you. So these are the exercise. We will share it in the WhatsApp group to mama and daddy. You can check with the WhatsApp group to complete these exercises. Okay, very good. Now, what we covered today, we learned about how to learn your subject with generative AI, and we looked at something called a picture prompt framework. At the end, we also looked at how to use tips and tricks with Google